Welcome to Let's Talk Football with me, Chris.
And me, Richard.
The podcast bringing you the latest in football news. Every week we discuss all the big talking points from the world of football and discuss all the action in a week to come.
In this week's podcast, finally some good news for Tottenham fans as they overcome a 2-goal deficit to beat Bournemouth 3-2. Liverpool lose once again, this time to Leeds. Arsenal continue their great form by beating Forest by 5. And there are 1-0 wins for both Manchester clubs.
Plenty of good action this weekend. So, let's talk football. Right then, here we are. Welcome everybody back to the podcast. We are here for another week of chat. Plenty of stuff going on. Do you want to start? Do you want to start this week so you can have some good things to talk about for a change?
Let's start at the Vitality Stadium.
If we ignore the first 50 minutes.
If we ignore the first 50 minutes and me having my fingers over my eyes going, oh no, we're going to lose to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it clicked.
Well, yeah. Was it a particular thing? Was there a change that he made?
He made the starting 11 with yesterday's game in mind. Obviously, we record this on a Tuesday and it'll go out on a Wednesday, so we've already played Marseille, so I'm either happy or sad.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know. And yeah, there was a lot of changes made with that game in mind, and it didn't work first half at all. We weren't at the races. But brought Lucas Moura on at half time, and that seemed to have an effect.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, no.
Yeah, good result.
Very good
Rodrigo
result.
Bentancur coming up with his second important goal of the week.
Yeah.
Ben Davies getting on the score sheet was a very rare thing. Even Ryan Sessegnon managed to get one as well.
It was a good header as well.
It was a good
Ben
header.
Davies.
Yeah.
No. Speaking of good headers, let's not disrespect Kiefer Moore.
No. I mean, Kiefer Moore was very, very good. Yeah.
He was very good, for being that focal point for Bournemouth.
He is a tricky player to come up against. Obviously, he's made his way through the Championship and League One and things like that.
Well,
he's
further down, he's come right through.
He is a difficult customer. Yeah.
Yeah. And very well. I'm sure he'll have a leading role for Wales in the World Cup.
I would imagine so. Yeah, he'll definitely go. Yeah. But yeah, up to third, or keeps us third, keeps us in front of Newcastle. So yeah, happy days. Imagine if we'd have lost though. That would have been 3 Premier League defeats on the bounce.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been ideal.
No. So and
it wasn't looking good for a long time. It wasn't looking good for a long time,
but in Conte we trust.
Conte you trust. It's just about the players.
It's just about the players.
Yeah. But a good start for Tottenham. Big win. Important win. Get themselves back on track. Let's then go to the destruction that was Arsenal demolishing Forest.
Yeah.
They were just very, very good, Arsenal.
They are very good, and they've got this knack this season in particular of once they put their foot down, they just keep it down.
Yeah, obviously they get the goal early.
Yeah.
Which really helps, but then they kind of, they don't really do a lot with it. And then it was after half time.
Yeah.
Something just clicked for them after half time again. And
yeah, they just went up. They were
great.
Didn't they?
Yeah, they were great in that second half. I don't know if losing Saka in the first half may have shook them a bit because I think he had to come off in there fairly early.
He did come off fairly early. Hopefully, it's not going to be too bad. By the sounds of it, he might even be fit for the weekend's game.
Well, that'd be a bonus because I think we could do with him in the World Cup squad.
Yeah, but particularly with his pace. Obviously, Saka's a very tricky customer. Yeah,
he's very good on the ball, obviously.
Yeah,
but no, Reece Nelson coming up with a couple of goals. He hasn't really had many chances this season, but he's took one.
Yeah, he took his chance. Absolutely, as we were saying beforehand, probably too late to make the World Cup squad, but
yeah,
finally showing what he potentially can do given games for Arsenal.
That's it. It's just whether hopefully that should be a good stepping stone for Reece to get a few more appearances under his belt this season.
Yeah,
I think
hopefully
if you do that, you're going to get the opportunity. And then we must mention the screamer that Partey scored.
Yeah, Thomas Partey coming to the party.
Yeah, first time hit, top corner, and then Odegaard rounded it off with a tidy goal. Good performance for Arsenal. They can't complain how the season's gone. They're top of the table.
Yeah.
2 points clear still. I mean, spoiler alert for later on, but City were able to get their win in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they needed that obviously because you're playing second, so the pressure's on a bit.
Yeah, because City had gone top at that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't on telly though. I was confused by that.
Yeah, no, there was a few. Well, there was a few games, weren't there, on Sunday?
No, there wasn't. There was only the 2 games. It was only your game and their game. So I settled down at 2:00 to watch Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest, and it wasn't on.
Was it on?
I have no idea why.
Or maybe it just wasn't a weekend for that particular fixture.
I genuinely have no idea why. I was totally confused.
Well, there we are.
Not for the first time this season, but yeah.
Not for the first time. Yeah, so good win for Forest. Good win for Forest. Good win for Arsenal.
Would have been a great win for Forest, but it never materialised.
Would have been a great win for Forest, especially to follow it up after the Liverpool result.
Yeah.
And speaking of Liverpool, they've
gone and lost again.
They've lost again and shooting themselves in the foot at the same time.
Yep.
Joe Gomez, Alisson, bit of miscommunication there. Alisson seems to go in one place. Gomez plays a blind pass, so doesn't know where his goalkeeper is.
And then Rodrigo just says, "Thank you very much."
He just went, "Thanks very much. I'll have that, thank you." I did see a Liverpool TikToker turn around and say at one point, literally in the build-up to this game, Rodrigo's the worst signing of the season. Not just Leeds' worst signing of the season, the worst signing of the season.
Yeah, you don't say things like that before you play the team.
Instant. Yeah. That is instant karma.
Yes. Yeah.
Instant karma, I'm afraid. And not good at all.
But then when they equalised Liverpool, you were kind of like, okay, they've equalised. It's fairly early in the game. They'll go on and win this.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think they created a lot, but they just couldn't finish.
No, Leeds defended very, very well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously they get the break, the last goal. Somerville with a really nice, tidy finish.
Yeah.
Slips it past Alisson, and Leeds go home very happy. Leeds need the points right now, and you just seen what it means to the players as well, because all the players were going straight to Jesse Marsh at the end of the game, and
yeah, that relieves the pressure on him a little bit. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets them a bit of breathing space, if not too much. It's only a point off the bottom 3, but it was a needed win.
Definitely, yeah,
for them. Absolutely. The one thing we didn't mention actually in the intro was actually another big loss at the top of the table was Graham Potter going back to Brighton and
receiving a good old spanking. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird performance from Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help when you score 2 own goals.
No, the 2 own goals don't help, but just in general, there was something just wasn't quite. Yeah, it wasn't quite. Great. That's not a Graham Potter team.
Brighton were right in their faces right from the word go. To be fair.
Yeah, which is what they do to most teams that come at them at the Amex.
Yeah.
They have that energy. Under Potter and now under current
Deserby
leadership. Yeah.
I mean, winning at the Amex is not for everybody. I get it.
No, it's not. But it was odd. It was just an odd performance from Chelsea. I mean, they seem to have been unbeaten for a long time, and since Graham Potter's gone in, so it's not as if he's had a bad start.
Yeah.
I don't know I just didn't know what to make of it. They were just so open and very un-Chelsea-like.
Very un-Chelsea-like, particularly under Potter. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been stingy in front of goal or with teams scoring goals against them. Yeah. So for Brighton to get 4 is
Yeah, Brighton have this knack though, obviously, as we all know, picking up points against the top boys.
Yes.
And it puts them in and around everyone as well at the same time. Brighton will be absolutely delighted with that performance. I'm sure fans will be.
Yeah, ecstatic, and it gets the monkey off of the back for the manager as well. Gets them first win. Yeah, under his tutelage anyway. Yeah,
gets them moving, so they can be very, very happy. And I guess all the players have the insight. How's Graham Potter going to set up his team? He's going to set it up like this. Perfect. We know.
Yeah, there is that aspect to it as well, I guess.
Yeah, we know what we're coming up against. We know so what's the counter to it all.
Perfectly, and deserved their win.
It was very, very good indeed. Then elsewhere, Newcastle with a big win over Aston Villa.
Another player making his case for the World Cup in Callum Wilson.
Indeed, Callum Wilson, who we talked about last week, as having that possibility, and he's in the goals, and he's definitely not. he's not harming his chances, is he, at the minute?
He's just got to stay fit. That's the only problem Callum Wilson has. Is
that's
staying
the key
fit.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to stay fit for this period, and if he can, and he's firing, and he's playing like this, giving himself every chance to go into the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the most informed striker we have at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in amongst the goals. Almiron as well, again.
Another good goal from him. Another beautiful goal from Almiron.
And the season of his life so far.
He really is, yeah.
And if it continues, then Newcastle are going to be in. You know, that if they're still in this position after the World Cup, I mean, they'll fancy their chances of being in that discussion for a Champions League spot. I'll tell you that.
Because obviously they will strengthen in January.
Yeah.
Obviously players will see how well they're doing, and having to sell the club to them now is probably going to be a little bit easier because they're they're higher up in the table for an instance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's all the opportunities for Newcastle United going forward.
Yeah.
It was a good atmosphere as well inside St James's Park. It is rocking at the minute, that place.
Yeah, I mean every goal that went in, apart from the penalty, obviously penalty was just a little ding. Every goal that went in, it was roared into the back of the net. As you say, that place, when they're rocking, they are really behind.
Well, the thing is, even more so, when you think of the decade or so that they've had to deal with, probably more than that in about 15 years or so, of absolute agony.
They are riding the crest of a wave, Newcastle.
Yeah, they're just so happy to have something to cheer about.
Definitely.
Once again, at the top of the table. Let's move on to Man City Leicester, the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. What a free kick from Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, bit of quality in a game that lacked
Beautiful stuff.
I thought.
Yeah, overall, yeah, but he, this is what he's there for.
Yeah,
and have these little moments of magic. Is why he is the player that he is.
Yeah.
Obviously missing Haaland this week through injury, so they'll be hoping to get him back in time for Champions League games this week.
Yeah, hopefully.
Not that it's that important to City, I don't think.
No, I think he probably would have skipped out on the Champions League game anyway.
Yeah, but kept the pressure on because they didn't really look like creating too much.
No, obviously we went back to Manchester City last season without a recognised striker.
Yeah.
And they did seem to struggle without him.
No, they did. I think Alvarez... It was a hard game for Alvarez to get in just because of the way that Leicester just sat in, didn't they? They were parked in their own box.
Yeah.
The two banks. Well, the five and the
three.
The three, anyway. And it was very, very difficult.
It was very difficult. They were unlucky, Leicester, to be fair. I mean, Tielemans' one come crashing off the bar that's probably still shaking as we speak.
Yeah, they had that. When they made the change, I think he made a couple of changes, didn't he? Towards they were still 1-0 down, but he thought, you know what, might as well have a go at this point, and they came back into it. Leicester towards the end, had a few opportunities.
Iheanacho had a shot which probably should have done better with it, but
yeah, absolutely. But not to be.
No, not
but
to
City,
be.
Yep, keeping the pressure on to Arsenal. 2 points off the top after everything was said and done. Yeah, so that's all they can keep doing for now is
keep winning.
Wait for that slip up to come. It's, in some ways, I'm quite glad that game between City and Arsenal got postponed.
Yes,
because it's allowed, well, in some respects, but just for the sake of this situation.
Yeah,
because it's allowed Arsenal to continue to build their confidence.
Yeah,
even after the United defeat. They went on to beat Liverpool, smash Tottenham.
Yeah. And obviously, if Manchester City get out in front, you ain't going to catch them.
That's it, and it actually just it just makes that game is going to be big when it does get rearranged. I mean, you might end up having the second fixture before you get the first one. It's one the way things are going.
Compressed together, yeah.
So we'll have to see how that goes. They might play each other 3 times in a week in an FA Cup game and 2 league games or something silly like that.
Yeah, double header. Just play it there and
then. Yeah,
6 points up for grabs.
No, they have to play 180 minutes though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
what a double header means.
That's what has to happen. Right. What else did we have? Palace beating Southampton on Saturday.
Yeah. Odsonne Edouard with
good
the goal.
Finish. That was a good goal. That they created a lot of chances actually. Those 4 up front for Palace when they're on song.
Yeah.
You bring Eze, Elise, Zaha, and Edouard in. Some of the movement between the four of them was really good. I felt.
Yeah.
And it's what created the goal for Edouard as well. And there was a few other chances I think Edouard maybe could have done a little bit better with. There was one that flashed across the box and he was like probably half a stud away from getting it.
Yeah.
But no, Palace will be happy. They need again. I mean, they both could have done with a win down there.
Palace into the top half.
Yeah, that win takes Palace up to 10th. Southampton just about staying outside of trouble, but they're on the same amount of points as Leeds and Villa, on 12 points just outside there. I mean, Villa went from their 4-0 win last week. Sorry, we forgot to mention Villa when we were talking about that game.
Yeah.
To the performance that they put in. Again, really poor again.
Yeah,
this week.
Back to type, as they say.
Yeah, it was. They win 4-0. They've lost 4-0. It's a strange situation.
So they haven't gained anything really.
Apart from the 3 points from the week before, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, if not in goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, he went for the same team. It just didn't quite fire the way it did the week before. But that's all credit to Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
Must be said. Then we had, what else did we have? Brentford Wolves 1-1.
Diego Costa.
Oy. I can't believe what he did. He had 2 goes at him.
Yes, he did.
He literally had. He's like, I missed the first one. I'm going to have another go. Yeah. What is he doing?
Yeah.
Lunatic.
Welcome back to the Premier League, Diego.
Loon.
We've missed you.
He's an absolute loon. Well, he's not going to be playing. Well, I think he's suspended now till the Boxing Day game, isn't he?
No, he'll miss the Boxing Day game as well.
It's 3 matches. Is he missing that one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was going to be back because isn't there a Carabao Cup game in between as well?
I don't know whether the Carabao Cup has its own card system.
Oh, I thought it'd be included. But okay.
One of the cup competitions has its own carding system, and I can't remember if it's the Carabao or the FA.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out in
maybe
December.
Maybe it's a miscalculation from Diego. He thought, you know what, I'm going to get Christmas off.
Nope. He may well
but
have
might
to
not.
play.
He might do.
But it livened up a very okay game.
It livened up. It was the 97th minute he got sent off.
Yeah, but it ended in a fiery sort of scuffle.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the game was here. It was nothing really. That game, wasn't it? Yeah. It just kind of happened.
It was 2 sides who battled and then cancelled each other out, basically.
It wasn't the only game that happened. I think Fulham Everton was very similar.
Do we really need to talk about the R-Pass 5 game?
Not particularly. It happened again.
It happened. There was lots of chances.
Yeah.
Not many on target, but it was.
No.
Yeah, it was all right. It was one of those programs that if you had it on, it was kind of just a background thing. You weren't really paying much attention. I certainly wasn't. Anyway.
That's it. So no, not much to talk about there. And then we'll save the Centurion for last. The Centurion will save him for last. Marcus Rashford gets his 100th goal for Manchester United at the age of technically 24.
Yep.
It's his birthday Monday.
Happy birthday for Monday, Marcus.
Yeah, 25 now is Marcus Rashford. He's already got over 300 appearances for Manchester United and 100 goals.
Yeah.
I think he can be happy with that. And it was a
very good header at the back post. Yeah.
I looked at it and I watched it, and I know a lot of people have said it as well since, but I watched it and I saw him do it and I thought, I've never seen him attack a ball like that ever.
No.
From a head anyway. For a header.
But then sometimes when they come in at that sort of pace, I mean, Christian Eriksen has a very good delivery. That's not that.
Yeah.
It's not sort of.
Oh no, it's phenomenal ball in, because even that little play, I think Casemiro's screaming at Dalot, give it to me, give it to him.
Yeah.
And Dalot's like, no, wait.
He had a very good game, Dalot, as well.
Dalot was brilliant, and then obviously the ball in, the little interplay between Bruno and Eriksen.
Yeah.
And then the ball in is great, and just the way that Rashi runs onto it. Yeah. I've never seen him attack a football from a head like that. He'll sit back.
Yeah, no.
And wait for it to come to him, and then try and do something with it.
It was just that inviting, Chris. It was just begging me to be headed into the back of the net.
Yeah. But it was a wonderful, wonderful goal for us. And then it was absolutely a defensive
masterclass.
Well, it was to a degree, I guess, but it was, battle stations. It was body on the line.
Yeah, because West Ham came at you. second.
Oh, they really did. Yeah. They had good chances. I mean, some of the saves De Gea was pulling off.
And he's not going to the World Cup, back in the team. Which is shocking.
It's unbelievable. I never want to hear De Gea slander ever again. It's unbelievable he's not going to the World Cup, by the way. What a shocking decision.
Good for you.
He's still the best goalkeeper they've got.
Yeah.
By a country mile.
I mean, I don't know who the other three are, but obviously...
Absolutely shocking.
I know David Raya's won. That's the only Spanish goalkeeper I can think of off the top of my head.
But it might be Unai Simon Seaman from Bilbao.
Yeah.
Don't know who the third one would be, but
David De Gea should be on the front,
the
top three. Yeah, absolutely.
You can't take him. How can you not take him? He's still one of the best in the world. He's still one of the best in the world.
Were you nervous when Harry Maguire was named in the starting 11?
I mean, I expected it.
Yeah.
I think for Harry, I actually think this injury might have done him the world of good.
Yeah.
Because it meant he could just
off.
Exactly, he could just get out of the way and gone and into the background, and then he had those 45 minutes in the Europa League last Thursday, which was an easy way to ease yourself back in, because Sheriff, I don't think had a shot, let alone a shot on target. I don't think they had a shot in that game last week. So it was just a nice, easy way to have 45 minutes under your belt.
Yeah.
And then to come back in the way that he did, because I think Lindelof picked up a knock as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he wasn't available anyway. Come in, but that'll boost his confidence a lot. He was very, very good in that game ahead. And as you mentioned earlier, Dalot with all those back post headers.
Superb.
Back post headers was brilliant.
Yeah, because he got the danger away. And normally you associate, particularly in the past, not this season, you expect Dalot to make a mistake every now and again, but he was faultless on Sunday. Yeah,
he was good. He's really growing into it now. You can see the quality that Jose saw in him back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, really good performance. And De Gea made one particular save, and I think I saw something on Twitter which made me laugh. It was De Gea with a cat-like reflex from a Kurt Zouma header.
Oh, boom!
Which I thought was quite nice.
Oh dear.
Thought it was quite good. Dear. We take those. Unlucky Kurt. Right, that's it then, isn't it?
That's all the Premier League games rounded up. Yeah.
All done and dusted. Look at that. Record time. Right. On to around the world then. Let's see what's going on elsewhere in the football world.
So I'll start this week in the WSL, where Tottenham put 8 past Brighton, which triggered Hope Powell to resign as Brighton boss. Nikita Paris scored once more as Manchester United beat Everton 3-0. There were also wins for Arsenal, Manchester City, Reading and Chelsea this weekend. In the Bundesliga, Union Berlin scored a 97-minute winner to keep hold of top spot as Bayern were beating Mainz by 6-2. Bayer Leverkusen remain in the bottom 3 after losing to Leipzig. In Serie A, Torino shocked AC Milan by beating them by 2-1 as Napoli continued to set the pace after a 4-0 win over Sassuolo. In Ligue 1, PSG and Troyes share 7 goals, with PSG winning out in the end. Alexander Lacazette scored the only goal as Lyon beat Lille. Lens continued to be the best of the rest as they beat Toulouse by 3-0. In La Liga, Barcelona closed the gap to 1 point after a narrow win over Valencia as Real Madrid were held by Granollers. Sevilla dropped into the relegation places after losing 1-0 to Rayo Vallecano. In the MLS, LAFC beat Austin 3-0 and Philadelphia beat New York City 3-1 to set up a final this week to crown the champions of the MLS. We're off to Uruguay for a second, next to where Luis Suarez helped Nacional to win the league title after beating Liverpool, ironically, 4-1 after extra time. Down under...
Not that Liverpool.
What was that?
Not that Liverpool.
Not that Liverpool, no.
Different Liverpool.
Down under, it's red cards galore this week. 4 in 6 matches, the most costly one coming for Western United, who were 2-0 up before losing a man. They lost the game 4-2. Whoops, daisy. And finally, we go to the EFL this week for the crazy ending to a game. Charlton and Ipswich were going into added time at 2-2 before 2 stoppage time goals for Ipswich seemed to have secured 3 points. Not so, as Charlton scored twice themselves in the 9 minutes that were added on. George Dobson scoring the equaliser in the 9th minute of added time.
That's a crazy game.
4-4. You gotta love a 4-4 draw.
Yeah, but a 4-4 draw in the space of stoppage time, by the way.
Well, it finished 2-2 essentially in stoppage time, which is crazy.
Unbelievable
what a result of the Valley.
Unbelievable scenes. Okay, so that's us around the world. Big, exciting things happening in those leagues. But we must check in with our old friend Donis.
Let's check in with Donis.
How's he getting on?
So, FC Zurich picked up their first win of the Europa League group stage after beating Bodo Glimt by 2-1. Donis was nowhere to be seen in the subs bench or anything like that. So I thought perhaps he's picked up an injury. No, he's not picked up an injury.
No.
So goodness knows. So I thought, he'll be in the side for Saturday's game. They won this weekend.
Oh,
Jonathan Akita with the goal. So they have won their first game this season. No sign of Donis at all.
Oh dear.
Not even on the bench. And they named one less substitute. So he could have been on the bench.
He's got to be injured.
I can't find anything that tells me he's injured.
Surely.
Not on the FotMob app that I use. Nothing.
Surely he's injured. They can't name one less sub and not put him on. He must have upset someone otherwise.
Well, it's not looking good come the January window, is it?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out in January, whatever happens to poor old Donis. Right, don't forget, guys, if you do want to get in touch with us about your football club and you want us to talk about something, then please do tweet us at Let's Football Pod, or you can send us an email, letsfootballpod@gmail.com. Before we go, we're going to have a quick run through the fixtures coming up this weekend.
Yes. So there is no 12:30 game this week, only a 12 o'clock game on Sunday. So 3 o'clock is where we start. Nottingham Forest take on Brentford. Wolves take on Brighton. Manchester City take on Fulham. Leeds take on Bournemouth before the 5:30 game, which is Everton versus Leicester. Then we head to 12 o'clock when Chelsea take on Arsenal on Sunday. 3 games at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Aston Villa take on Manchester United. Southampton take on Newcastle. West Ham take on Crystal Palace before the big game at 4:30, Tottenham versus Liverpool.
Yes, very interesting games coming up this weekend.
In the penultimate round of fixtures before the World Cup.
Indeed. So Chelsea, Arsenal's huge. Tottenham, Liverpool, not as big.
There's a lot of games in London on Sunday.
Lots of games in London. Good luck, Met Police. Have fun with all those games. I'm sure they'll pull a few in from elsewhere. But anyway, we must head off.
We must.
Hopefully you all enjoyed the podcast. We will be back next week with all the fun and games and news and all the things that have happened this week. So for now, we'll catch you all a little bit later. All right.
Bye.
Bye.